Hello, folks. Here I am, Monday morning. Not fully rested from the show last night, but I'm up already. Monday, the get my glasses. 6th of November, 2023. Wearing one of my own T-shirts here. No, I don't have any more for sale. They're all gone. Cheers. Well, a couple things. First off, it's the second time someone's bugging me about Sample the Great's new record. I've listened to it. I ain't buying it. Is it good? Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so my review or reflections on seeing Steve Hackett live in concert. I'm a longtime Genesis fan. You people have been watching it for years know that. I haven't seen Genesis. I hadn't seen Steve Hackett since he was in Genesis on the Seconds Out tour. So last time I saw him play live. So this was real special for me. Real special. Doing the trip with my old friend Frank Z was just about perfect. It's we went to Des Moines, which is a route that we've taken many times over the decades, mainly going to Minneapolis for shows. Um, Used to go up to Minneapolis, but he used to go up there almost every weekend. I just wasn't up for the drive every weekend. We had a wonderful time visiting, catching up on things. The drive was pretty smooth, thankfully, you know, but there was the evidence of, traffic that I disliked. Thankfully, it was Sunday traffic and light, but people driving like fools. The concert was at a small theater. There was like not a bad seat in the house, and we had good seats. We were real up close, so we had great seats. Um, I didn't try to meet the band or Steve Hackett because it just, I didn't want to be a bus lurker and I didn't want to wait around all night, after the show. And, you know, we got there early and ate and then went back to the venue and didn't really see anybody from the band milling about back by the bus, because I'd be observing things. I just observed some staff coming in and out. Show was phenomenally excellent. The show is what I'm about, which is the music. I like a show. When I was a kid and first found out about Genesis and this album, what they're doing, they didn't have any vinyl for sale, but they had the Foxtrot at 50 DVD, Blu-ray, CD, Blu-ray, DVD. So autographed. They're all autographed. So I grabbed this. It got dinged a little bit because it was in my pocket during the show. Really wanted the vinyl just as a collector. It was a Steve Hackett night. I thought this was really cool of him to play his own music before the show. You know how they play music as people are filling in? It was his music because he has so much. And some of what they played was what he's done with the band Jabe. I don't have any of those CDs. He he's done a lot of he's released a lot of stuff in the last decade. He just ramped it up, and there's just a bunch of live recordings and stuff he's done with people. And I can't endeavor to collect all that as much as I like him because I don't like to mail order. I just don't. I couldn't have asked for a better set list. It was like almost like a dream come true set list. They did a set of Steve Hackett stuff. Then they came back out and did Foxtrot, and then they did an encore of Firth of Frith and Los Endos, which was I love Genesis. I've seen Genesis 6 times. This band is amazing, and they play the music. There was a couple times during Supper's Ready, where it's like, this is better than seeing Genesis. I'm seeing Steve Hackett, and he's playing the guitar parts, those exact tones and everything from the album. And the other band members, just crack musicians, the drummer, Craig Blundell, is that his name? Killer drummer. I actually enjoyed the drum solo. You know how I've talked about being tired of drum solos. His drum solo was thrilling, really good, real good. And the whole band, I mean, everyone, Rob Townsend on sax and keys, he can blow. When he played his solos, there was a lot of not just technique but feeling. And Steve Hackett played his ass off. You can't. He dyes his hair so he doesn't look his age. He had to sit down a few times during the show, and I know even at my age, it's like, yeah, I need to sit down. Of course, that was when I first saw them. He sat down, and then it was a big deal when he stood up in Genesis the first time I saw them. He played so intensely, so well. He has a technique. He does things that really I don't see other people do. The way he fans the guitar. He has this little metal band on his little finger that he uses for those sweeps to get that. And he had troubles with his pedals. That's one of the cool things I like about seeing live shows is you want the shows to go well. When little things don't go well, it humanizes things and it makes it kind of special. Steve's one of his pedals broke down. The tech guy had to come out and unhook it and replace the pedal. And then he had another pedal freak out on him. It was interesting, He sailed through it really well, but I heard it. There was this one part where he hit the pedal and he had not, somehow the adjustments that needed to be made for the setting weren't done right. When he hit it, it was like real too loud, Steve is an old pro, so he didn't do anything like this. It's like he was, okay, let me get that thing off real quick. I love it. I'll show some Steve Hackett records. Oh. Let me see, is that it? Yeah. Steve Hackett is actually one of my favorite guitar players. When I list, and it's been this way for years, when I list my favorite guitar players, it is John McLaughlin, Alan Holdsworth, Wes Montgomery, Steve Hackett, and then we go from there. He's a major player, fantastic musician, and what a high caliber of music. I was just like, man, this is not. It's just so good, and I can see why Steve Hackett is recording everything because they've got the sound down. I mean, the sound system and the people running the mixer, along with the band and the lights, are really working in union. The sound was so good, I didn't have to wear earplugs. That's a first in years. A full-blown concert in a venue, and I didn't need earplugs. It was wonderful. It got a little loud at the end because, you got to use dynamics. But they didn't overdo it. And that's the trick. Like the last rock show I went to, Swans, it was just brutal. It was brutal. There's power in volume, but then there's too much volume. Okay, here's what I have by Steve Hackett. Voyage of the Acolyte, the first. I've gone through a couple of copies of this album. When this came out, it was like, I thought, this is better than Genesis, He was still in the band, partly led to his leaving the band, because he's writing such good stuff and can't get the band to do it, mainly because of Tony Banks, hierarchy. They played the opening track on here, Ace of Wands, which it helped me to develop my guitar playing by learning how to play it years ago. It was like I struggled. It's like, I want to learn how to play this. This is so good. And I did. And he played it beautifully. And they messed with the arrangement just a little bit. Thankfully, not too much, because it doesn't need much change on here. They did. I was so happy. The show that we saw is what's on the CDs. This is what we saw. Pretty much in this order too. What's on the disc? Watcher of the Skies was chilling. I forget, his name is on here. The keyboardist. He's got the settings correct. Roger King. So it's got that haunting mellotron setting. It's fantastic. Real glad I went to the show. What'd they do up here? Did they do anything up here? They did not do anything from Please Don't Touch. It's the second album. This is the one where he breaks the color line, and if I were ever to meet Steve Hackett, that would be one of the first things I would want to say to him is, thank you, Steve Hackett, for being a decent human being and breaking the color line and working with black artists, because inherent racism is everywhere, and in rock music, and especially in progressive rock circles, you know what I mean? I have dealt with it directly as a lover of this music and a follower of it, the racism. He's got Richie Havens on here, and also Randy Crawford. First time I really heard her sing. I would thank him for having the decency to just work with the best. You want to work with good musicians, work with the best. When they played the steps off of this, that was like, oh shit, because I love that. Defector. Great music. And live, it's magnificent, and it's grand, but not overblown. It's big and grand and freaking fantastic. Some of my favorites. He played a couple things. Yeah, he hit this, Spectral Mornings. Every day. It was really cool to hear him play that, And then, of course, they played Spectral Mornings. That was super powerful. Super powerful. So here we get into he's bowing to pressure from the record labels. They want a hit, and it's how you keep your record contract. And so he tries to write stuff that's a little more commercial. Okay? He didn't play... Oh, he did. He played Air Conditioned Nightmare off of this. Did he? Or is that me tripping? I thought they did this, or maybe they just touched upon it in another song. But this has good stuff on it. But it's him trying to sing. He's not the best singer. He's better now. Same with this album, Highly Strung. No, this is what they did. They did off of here, Hackett to Pieces. Highly Strung. This is back when he was still with his first wife, Kim, and she did Kim Porn. She did a lot. That's her very recognizable artwork. Okay, we'll put them over here because I'm just going to put these back away. Till We Have Faces, an album he made in Brazil, if I got it right, because he's working with a Brazilian percussionist on here. And it's cool because it doesn't take his music out of its element. It works. He puts it in, it's in there and it works. Here's a 12-inch single, Doll That's Made in Japan. And Just the Bones on the B-side. His first acoustic solo album, Bay of Kings. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And when he played on the second side of Foxtrot, right before Supper's Ready, is that Horizons. When he played that, he improvised for a while before he went into it. That was real special. Here's one that was gifted to me. Steve Hackett in Nottingham, 1990, live. I think it's on colored vinyl too. Here is another gift. People blow me away with their gifts. He did that collaboration with Chris Squire from Yes, and they called it Squack It, A Life Within a Day, a signed copy. This is very good. Very, very good. And the combination of their styles and talent is evident throughout. Excellent album. Excellent album. Okay. Coffee is real good this morning, by the way. Let's go here. Momentum. Another one of those albums that features his classical guitar stylings. I have more on CD of his music that I don't have on vinyl, but I'm not going to go grab them. If you're not familiar with the guitar work of Steve Hackett, I highly, highly recommend him. And now these are some of his more recent albums. Here's another 12-inch single, Cell 151. This was an attempt to have a hit. Didn't work. I wonder if the song even charted anywhere. It might have. It might have. The guitar work on this, all this stuff is this thing. I love his guitar work. I love it. It's very emotional. Here's the Tokyo tapes. And this is awesome. With that lineup, Chester Thompson, John Wetton, I was real happy to get a hold of this. And I'll show this because this is a beautiful pressing on white vinyl. Stephen Hackett. I think it's awesome that he alone is keeping the legacy of the music of Genesis alive. I say alone because I don't count the cover bands and the tribute bands like Musical Box. I know that Musical Box is very good at what they do, but Steve has the Genesis legacy musically in very good hands. You know, I'll say it again. They play the music probably better than the original band. Genesis Revisited, live at the Royal Albert Hall. I like this, how he's got this, that's how he's got his stuff looking. Steve Hackett up here. Here's another one. Under a Mediterranean Sky. They played some of this on the PA before the show. Wonderful. The Night Siren. Again, in reading about these more recent albums, in my opinion, I encountered lazy journalism, where they do hack comparisons, saying, well, this isn't his best stuff. It's like, wait, no, listen to the record and listen to what he's doing on this one. He's always keeping it fresh. Wolflight. This is good. This is good. Singing is better on this album. At the Edge of Light. See, I like that format. It always uses good graphics, and that's what I have on vinyl. So, very pleased. Not a big deal that I didn't get to meet him. I always like to meet the artists when I can. Had I gone alone, which I wouldn't have, had I gone to the show alone, I would have made more of an effort, probably. But my friend Frank, he's tagged along with me a few times when doing that, and he's almost antisocial. I remember the time that I met Jonas Bier for the first time of Mew, and Frank was with me, and Frank didn't really know what to do with himself. I was trying to include him in the meeting and stuff, and so the Italian person declined to buy the album, and it's fine because it is expensive to get that stuff. But I did explain to him, well, I said it in the video, this is my last extra copy. I want that more than some damn $40, you know. So if you want it, $50. And he said the $10 made the difference. It's too expensive. I respect that. You know, I think I'd rather just have the records, you know. Okay, so here we go with a new week. And some interesting news probably happening this week. Probably a lot of bad news. Okay, people, that's what I got today. I'll talk to you later.